On today's emergency edition of Ball State of the Union, a day we all pretty much knew was coming at some point soon, but today was the day. Head coach of the last 9 years, Mike Neu, has been relieved of his duties. We'll get into our initial reaction to that right
We're
now.
talking Ball State. Don Shondell and Ray McCallum talking Ball State. Nate Davis and Bonzi Wells, Schumann, Bell Tower, and Worthen. Fans all over from Muncie to Berlin. Getting Concannons, Carters, and Greeks.
It is Saturday, November 16th. Mike Neu has been fired by the Ball State Cardinals. Not anything super surprising for anyone who really follows the program at all. You could just kind of see the last few years, well, really for quite a while, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit, but they just could not figure out ways to get things done in the clutch when it really matters. I think that they have some talented players on the roster, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But it just seems like there's just mental errors from time and time again, and mismanagement of situations, and blowing leads, and this, that, and the other. And, that kind of all came to a head really in Buffalo this past Tuesday. Um, being up 2 scores later in the game. And again, really, if anyone has watched Ball State football the last handful of years, you kind of knew exactly where this was heading. You knew it wasn't going to end well. And it just is a really bad look when that happens in prime time when the whole nation is watching. When we blew the game against Central Michigan early in the year, again, that's early in the year. But it was in the middle of the day on a Saturday. No one's really paying attention outside of Ball State and Central Michigan fans to what's happening. But when you're on national TV and you blow a game in a spot like that, everybody sees it. Everyone kind of can tell what's going on. And it really makes the state of the program and the school look bad in that scenario. At the end of the day, the whole name of the game is winning. There's obviously other things important in college athletics, but when it comes down to it, really, if you're not winning, it's not going to get it done. And so let's just kind of take a look here. Hopefully this is working. Is it working? Yeah. Okay. After 9 seasons, Mike Neu relieved of his duties at Ball State University. A handful of thoughts. Obviously, very thankful for his time at the school and some of the things that he did for us. Obviously won the MAC in 2020 for the first time in a long time. I don't know how to hope the 90s is 20-something years, maybe. First time they won it. More than we can say about the basketball program right now. We're still waiting on that. It's been quite a while for that, too. But won the MAC for the first time in a long time. Obviously won our first bowl game in school history. So that's something that he'll always be linked to. But yeah, lots of downs in the tenure. I can kind of look on this page here. I don't know if this one's sharing, and I don't think it is. But, here's kind of a recap of his seasons that we've had. So he took the job in 2016. So he went, 4-8, 2-10, 4-8, 5-7, 7-1, which was the COVID year when they won the MAC and they won the Arizona Bowl. Then 6-7, 5-7, 4-8 last year, 3-7 currently right now. And I believe that puts us at a grand total of something like 20-something games under 500. Does it say in here? I think it was like 40 and 60-something. That's just not going to get it done. And, honestly, Ball State was beyond loyal to him. Gave him 9 years and you're 20-something games under 500. That's not going to happen almost anywhere else in the country. There's no chance you're going to be 9 years in and be 20 games under 500 and still have a job. So they were definitely beyond loyal to him, probably to a fault, honestly. But a change had to be made. By all accounts, a wonderful guy, great family. I've met him briefly a couple times. Was always very nice and very gracious to me. And so for that, I say thank you. You definitely represented yourself and the university as a man very well. Uh, we just couldn't get it done on the field, and it stinks that that's kind of how it has to be. But obviously, again, it's about winning, and so if we're not winning, then we're gonna have to do something else. And so again, they gave him tons of time, gave him plenty of chances. Honestly, that season in 2020 probably bought him, a handful of extra years, especially winning the MAC and winning the bowl game. Because again, if we're looking back before that, he would have had what 4 years in at that point. I guess that's probably he yeah. So that definitely bought him a few more years because it probably would have been on the bubble. But again, by all accounts, a great guy, a great man, a great family man. He was a great player for Ball State, and he produced some of the best memories that we've had in quite a long time as fans, as a head coach. It's just the moments were few and too far between. So, wish him the best of everything. I'm sure it probably stings right now, but a change had to be made. I haven't really had a chance too much to sit and think. Obviously, it just happened earlier today, and then was trying to watch the basketball game, which I don't like the direction where that team's going either. But haven't really had a chance to really look into who the next coach might be. I do credit Jeff Mitchell's logic behind doing this now is that they want to give themselves the most time to get a head start on finding a new coach. So obviously they have an opening now, and so they're going to be one of the first people that have an opening that they can offer to people. So I do like that thought process. I know some people were kind of perplexed and confused online as to why this firing happened now as opposed to maybe on Wednesday when it really probably should have happened. But at the end of the day, I'm not super caught up on that point. Wednesday, Saturday, who really cares? It's not like they're going to lose any candidates in those 3 days. So I do like that thought process. Obviously, the change had to come, and we can't just sit here and hope to be average or below average. We want to be an exceptional program, and so that's what this next hire needs to be is someone who's going to give us a chance to do that. And so there's a handful of ways to think about it. I don't have a ton of actual names of people, but we have on one hand, we're probably going to you're not going to be able to pay as much as you maybe would like to, especially with having to, buy him out essentially, Coach Neu, of this last year of his contract. He was supposed to be done with his contract after next year. So you might not be able to pay as much. So, there's a handful of ways you can go about it. Do you look for a younger, unproven person? Now, the problem with that is if you find a younger, unproven person and they come in and do a great job right away, you're probably going to lose them pretty quick. Because they're younger, and once they get a chance at a head coaching job, if they do well, they're going to get snatched up pretty quick. So there's that thought process, which we might have to go with if it's a money thing. Or you try and go find someone who's been a head coach at maybe a bigger school, been fired, and then maybe is trying to get another head coaching job. Those guys, I feel like you have a little bit better of a chance of maybe potentially holding on long term. And, that would obviously be ideal, is to hold on to someone long term, because that's obviously the best way that you can, produce results and get results over long term at a place like Ball State, where you're going to have trouble keeping people. So if you want to go that route, there's obviously a handful of people who you can look at too. But I don't really know. I'm not paid to make those decisions. So I'll sit back and watch. I'll be happy with, really whoever they get, and I'll give them a chance to, get this program going. I want us to start winning. I want us to start going to bowl games again. I want us to figure out a way where we can compete and be one of these teams that's being talked about for that, group of 5 spot in the playoff. That's what I want. And, that seems crazy right now given where we're at, but I think every fan out there should be wanting that. I'm sure everyone does want that, but, we're not going to get there with what we got right now. So we got to go out and take a swing, take a chance, figure out what we're going to do and figure that out. And I have faith that Jeff Mitchell is going to be able to figure that out and find the person who's going to be able to best put us in that position to do it. So, yeah, I don't know. I've seen people throw out Tyler Stockton. He was the defensive coordinator for us for a few years. He's at Boise State now. Is that a jump he wants to make? If he's, being thought of as pretty highly in the coaching world. I don't know. I'm very tapped into the coaching world. Is he going to want to come back and coach for us? I don't really know, but it could be a chance for him to come do that. But yeah, there's tons of things. There's going to be tons of different factors that come to it. Money, like prestige. Obviously, we're not a very high prestige place. We don't have a lot of money, so I don't know. I don't really know. I guess we'll find out soon. Hopefully, they don't drag their feet forever and do this. Hopefully, they get out and start scouring people, and basically, kind of between now and when the bowl season can start or finish, they can make their hire. That's where they're going to have the best advantage before all these other teams, fire people and try and bring people in and stuff. So that would be my hope, is that we are not sitting here for months and months. We get something done here fairly quickly before the new year. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I've seen a handful of names floating around online of people that people want. They all seem fine to me. At the end of the day, I just want the person to come in here, treat this program like a winner that I hopefully can be. Turn it into a winner that it should be. I was in school 2011 to 2015. We had 3 winning seasons when I was there, 2 bowl appearances. So I was there in a good time. It was fun to be there. And my senior year, we're 5-7, so we're almost bowl eligible again. So I don't know, but had to be done. The move needed to be made. It probably should have been made last year, but again, I don't think they could have eaten 2 years of this contract. They're going to figure out a way to eat 1 year of it. But yeah, at the end of the day, just not enough winning getting done. I wish it was different, obviously, because having an alumni, a prestigious alumni, especially of the program, as your coach has the best chance of you being able to keep them long term, because they're an alumni of the school, they're alumni of the football program, and so if you want to have continuity and stability, that's where you want. Mike Neu was the perfect person to do that. The problem was he just wasn't good enough coach to get it done, and I think he'd tell you that too. I mean, there's really no arguing it. I think he's a sub 400 win percentage in 9 years. They gave someone 9 years and with those results. So, there's no really to look. So I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling now, just kind of getting some thoughts off my head. As is something that's, obviously been a big topic of conversation in Cardinal land for a while now. So I don't know. We'll see how these next couple games go. Obviously 2 tough games, Bowling Green and Ohio, 2 pretty good teams. Does anyone know why we're not playing more midweek games this year? I feel like, and maybe I'm crazy and just making this up, but I feel like for most of the years, once, we start matching, it usually seems like we have 3, if not 4 matching games, and we end the season in them. But this year we only had 2, which caught me kind of off guard. Oh, by the way, one other note. I think the people who are the happiest about this has got to be Northern Illinois, because Mike Neu is their daddy. So whoever the new coach is, hopefully he can continue that, because I hate losing to them. So they got to be over the moon, because they haven't been able to beat us hardly at all in the past 5 years. So I don't know what to bring back to them. But anyways, let me know who you guys think should be the next coach. Let me know maybe your favorite memories. I think I got a pretty good idea. Your favorite memories during the Mike Neu era. Maybe your least favorite memories. I definitely have some of those too. So I don't know. Hopefully the next person comes in and get lots of wins and get us to the playoff. That should be the end goal here, because this G5, if you want to call it that, G5 playoff spot, is probably not going to be around forever. So I would like to take advantage of all we have, and let's get in there. Let's get in there and get to the playoff. That's what I want. Next coach, I want to in the playoff. I want to be in the playoff in 5 years. Probably crazy, but that's what I want. I think that's every fan is going to want that, and every coach is going to want that. So if you take this job, just know, get us to the playoff in 5 years. All right. I'll be back at some point. Chirp, chirp.